the college football experience, Oklahoma Sooners 2022 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks, presented by WynnBET. Bet $50 at WynnBET and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBET. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bets today. We're also brought to you by IP Vanish. Yes, IP Vanish is the official VPN of SGPN, and they're offering 70% off if you go to ipvanish.com/SGP. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by SGPN Discord. Yes, make sure to check out the new Discord server. It is the perfect place to interact and sweat out bets with the entire SGPN crew. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord.
This is Brian Bosworth, aka The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience, Oklahoma Sooners 2022 season preview episode. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Boomer Sooner.
There it is, baby.
I am excited to talk. You heard the Boz introduction. I almost went with Leach because Leach was there and kind of built them into that national championship team in '99. I am joined by my co-host. I guess they won the Natty in 2000, but you know what I mean. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh.
Yes, this is the Oklahoma pod. Yeah. We love college football. Yeah. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
You do need a singing career, buddy.
I need a singing career. That's what they say. I love some Oklahoma football, Patty C. All right. I liked him a lot, especially that Josh Heupel team. I'm a big fan there. But I also think you're at this interesting point in the history of college football and the history of Oklahoma football where
it's easy to see a tide turn.
I think you should be nervous if you're an Oklahoma Sooners fan, because jumping to the SEC in a state where, yes, I understand you're a blue blood. You are the definition of a blue blood. However, so was Nebraska. And look what Nebraska has done in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Look what Arkansas. I wouldn't say Arkansas was a blue blood, but they were very good.
They were very good.
Yeah. Look at them since they've joined the SEC. When you're in one of these states that does not produce the same amount of talent, and I get it, it's next to Texas.
Yeah.
So is a lot of states. All right.
I mean, what they had at their advantage was Texas being in the Big 12 and being the big dog, and then basically being second in line to the Texas talent. And since there was so much, Texas talent at their disposal, that's still enough to field like a blue blood level team, which they had forever. But now you're going and you're just and you're playing teams that aren't able to field that kind of team. So you win every year.
Yeah.
But now you're playing
against
boys.
LSU, A&M, Texas, Auburn, Georgia, Alabama,
and
Florida.
an A&M that is different than they were when they were in the Big 12.
Yes, because the NIL. And that's another thing we'll talk on. But you also have this point where Lincoln Riley fans were furious, and probably rightfully so, because I guess technically he didn't lie, because he said, I'm not taking the LSU job.
Who's
Lincoln Riley?
Oh yeah,
he didn't lie, but I mean it's pretty close to saying he did took the USC job, and then fans were irate on all these message boards. Why would he leave? Why would he leave? Well, first off, look, I say this with love, Oklahoma, because I do enjoy when Oklahoma's good. have you seen his house in Malibu, or like right on the cusp of Malibu Pacific Palisades?
So
man. I mean, come on. I'm sorry, man. I've been to Oklahoma. I love the good people of Oklahoma, but that house right on the ocean,
Yeah.
it's
People
like,
are like, oh, I hope you're like getting taxed more. It's like,
who
it's got
cares?
gazillion
At some
dollars.
point, like,
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'll say this, and I'm an East Carolina guy, and Lincoln Riley was the OC at East Carolina, so I did enjoy him as an OC. However, Patty C, I do think you can make a case that he was slightly overrated.
You can.
I thought he always had in regular season games, there was always a game or two that they either lost, and there was a couple, I feel like every year that they had no business being close, like the Kansas game last year.
Yeah.
When when Caleb Williams pulled that out of his ass.
Yeah. They were close in a lot of games last year.
That's what I'm saying. I do think this could be a blessing in disguise, because Venables' track record's fucking fantastic. Now, I do not expect Jeff Lebby to be the OC long. I would be very shocked if he was not a head coach next year.
Yeah.
So enjoy it.
Yeah.
But what do you make of that whole? Before we dive in, do you think they're in a better spot from a head coaching point of view? I guess we can't say that because we've never seen Venables be a head coach.
Yeah. Tough to say. But Stoops was a defensive coach. When they were at their best, they were playing great defense too in the early 2000s. And able to get over that hump. What are they playing, like 4 national championship games in like 8 years or something?
But I guess what the knock against then Venables, even though he was fantastic, Clemson's defense was unbelievable last year. But the reality is you are playing against Boston College and Duke and stuff like that. Now I still think Venables is a damn good coach.
Well, you're just gonna get your offensive players at Oklahoma. They have a reputation as being explosive on offense already.
But you're going to face so much better offenses.
Yeah. The SEC.
No, even in the Big 12 this year compared to the ACC.
Well, I mean,
what
Venables
is a great
was
offense?
at Oklahoma forever too.
True, that is true.
So I think he proved it there to an extent.
What year did he leave OU?
Let me see that.
I think I have it up here actually. He left OU in
2011. It went to Clemson in 2000.
I feel like he had Leach at Texas Tech. But I do feel like when all those teams started to open it up, when TCU and Baylor and he kind of
it got harder.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a very interesting. They're like must watch TV each and every week. Let's hop into it. But let's recap last year, because I think it's different when you put a target on yourself, and there's a reason why I am pretty hard on the unders for UCLA, USC, and I'm kind of revealing my hand a tiny bit here.
It's got to happen eventually.
And Texas. Well, I just think
Oklahoma's part of that crew as well.
Well, when you're leaving these schools, like truly, people are going to lose their jobs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like lots of jobs are being lost by USC going to the Big Ten or Oklahoma going to the
all of these
SEC.
schools like hitch their wagon to you being like and kind of put their trust in you to drive that train, and now you're just dumping them, you know.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to be trying to come at you, not only out of spite but for their brand moving forward.
Yeah, and if you look at last year, Patty C, Tulane almost beat them with Michael Pratt. Tulane was not a very good team. I think they only won 2 games, right?
Yeah.
Western Carolina, they took care of.
Pratt
nice
was like 6 inches short of like getting
a first
down in OU territory.
And then Nebraska, I thought played. I mean, Nebraska left so many points out there. I actually think Nebraska probably should have won that game, but they beat Nebraska by 7.
Yeah,
they beat West Virginia by 3.
Was that the game with the snap over the head?
Yeah.
A lot. They're playing with fire a lot early on, man.
At K-State, they win by 6. Then they got the Red River shootout.
They needed like a miracle comeback.
Yeah, the Red River shootout, they won by 7. They did handle TCU, but even the Kansas game, you look at that and say 12 points.
Or was that Texas that needed the miracle? I'm forgetting what happened.
No, I think it was
OU that needed the miracle. Yeah, that's right.
But the Kansas game, oh my! If they stop them, the game's over.
Well, they were up at that point, right? Oklahoma was up in that game. I feel like Oklahoma was. So. I went back and looked at. I was under the impression that it was either tied or Kansas was in the lead. But when I went back and watched the highlights, it looked like Kansas
Hold on,
was actually down by 7.
I'm gonna pull this up. Really? Because that doesn't.
I think they were on the comeback, but I felt like at the time it felt like Kansas is about to win this game before I guess what did Caleb Williams just strip the ball out of the running back's hands and take it for a first down. Incredible play.
Yeah, no, it was unbelievable at the time.
Play.
But I think you're actually right. It was a 4th and 1, so Kansas would have got the ball. So that is a little different than how I remembered it. So they were up 28-23. Kansas would have had the ball at midfield.
Yeah, with
3:22 left.
Yeah, and Kansas was steadily coming back at that point. They had the momentum. So
that's interesting. I thought for some reason Kansas was winning that. So, but still, you shouldn't have been in that fucking game. It should have been a blowout. They did handle Texas Tech. They lost.
Then it finally caught up to them.
They lost to Baylor by 13. They beat Iowa State by 7, and they lost in Bedlam.
They almost had that one at the end of that game.
That was a wild game, man.
That was a great game.
Absolutely wild fucking game. Then they took care of Oregon in the game with no coaches or no players. It's a ridiculous game. Yeah, I mean, I just think the target on yourselves. You saw it last year, even with them winning that. Yeah, you saw it. You saw it.
Yeah, you made an interesting point pre podcast. Even though Oklahoma has been the class of the Big 12 for a long time, winning 6 straight conference championships. Yeah. Once the regular season's over, they are kind of the flag bearer for the conference in the postseason.
You can tell because they've only played one back-to-back away game in 10 years.
Yeah, they've been getting favorable treatment from the conference for a while, but. That target among the other fan bases is kind of gone. They want OU to win.
Look at this. Highlight the games where they're on the road the most. At K-State, they won by 6 in the game we were alluding to earlier. The Kansas game, they got their best punch, and that's shitty Kansas last year, right?
Yeah.
The Baylor game they lost. The Oklahoma State game they lost. I think the road. So they went 2-2 on the road, and they damn well almost went 0-4 on the road.
And when you consider the neutral site game against Texas, almost 0-5 in games away from home. I mean, 3-2.
Texas is leaving with them, so I don't know that the end. I mean, there's its own animosity because of the rivalry.
The road, and then you throw in the added animosity.
And think about this: they were supposed to play Tulane on the road, but a hurricane had Tulane move it to Norman. They probably would have lost.
I don't know if they would have lost, but
it was a 5-point game, dude.
It definitely made it interesting.
What do you think that swing is to play the game in New Orleans as opposed to Norman?
Generally, it's like a three or so point home field advantage. So if you take that 3 away from Oklahoma and give it to Tulane, then yeah.
Well, then they don't even go for the 4th down. They kick the field goal, right?
True, but I think that's
still gonna make it.
Big stretch to think that everything will stay the same. But
I'm just saying they benefited from an extra home game.
That's true.
Let's hop into it though, because last year, the offense was pretty good. Lincoln Riley is good at doing that, but I wonder, and this is a great question. This is why they're a must-watch team all year. And hopefully you're subscribed on YouTube to the College Football Experience because you're watching me over here in my Win Bet shirt. Shout out to Win Bet. But subscribe to the College Football Experience wherever you listen to podcasts at or on YouTube, and subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Porter Moser doing a great job at Oklahoma. I think he's going to have them in the tournament. Stick around, listen to our episodes for the college basketball Oklahoma Sooners preview.
Good get by them.
Yes, great get by them. Brent Venables to Oklahoma, Patty C. The offensive coordinator is Jeff Lebby. This guy has been setting the world on fire at UCF and at Ole Miss.
Dating back to his Baylor days, learning from Bryles, who was the Leach guy. So it all comes full circle.
Yeah. 8th in scoring offense, 38th in rush offense, 33rd in passing offense, 18th in total offense. But this is Lincoln Riley's stats. But don't get me wrong, Ole Miss. We should probably pull up Ole Miss's stats real quick. Could you tell me where they are, where they charted offensively last year? I think they were top 20.
I want to read that they were like top 4 on. Let me get to team stats under Lebby at both UCF and Ole Miss. But
UCF though, you can kind of make the argument of like, dude, they were playing really bad defenses.
Yeah,
but still,
Ole Miss had the number 24 scoring offense, but in terms of
total offense,
number 6.
Wow, so they're actually getting a. I mean, if Lebby can do it in year 1, I mean, Oklahoma was 18th in total offense last year, so you could be upgrading. Now we know the portal hit. hit Oklahoma pretty hard. We'll talk about that. But Dillon Gabriel is Oklahoma went out and got some names, and Dillon Gabriel's one. It's interesting. He was about to go to UCLA, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson announced he was coming back. So then he leaves UCLA and goes, because he was already like pretty much at UCLA.
Yeah, verbal agreement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he flips over to OU, where Jeff Lebby was his offensive coordinator at UCF. And if you remember when Heupel left for Tennessee, Dillon Gabriel lobbied for UCF to hire Jeff Lebby. They didn't, but shows their connection.
Hold on, say that again. When
Heupel left for Tennessee,
yeah,
Dillon Gabriel lobbied for UCF to hire Lebby. They didn't. They went with Gus Malzahn, but
the
connection.
Yeah,
you can see it right there. Now Dillon Gabriel did, I believe it was a torn ACL a season ago.
Yeah,
I think it was an ACL.
I'll double check that.
Either way, he was out for the year after I think the second game.
3 games.
It was the Louisville game, I believe.
Yeah,
where he got injured,
but he was performing up until then.
No, he's good. He's very good.
68, almost 69% completion percentage, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions through 3 games.
But do you think? And this would be the question. I think. Go back to what the year before when he was in Lebby's offense, right?
Yeah.
And I think he started almost the whole season. I think they might have had Mac play a little bit. You remember?
Yeah, he had 10 games in 2020 during COVID.
What did he run for?
Let me see. Rushing stats in 2020, only 169 yards.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Corral is a much more athletic quarterback, and so
I still thought Gabriel was using his legs a lot, but maybe just to avoid pressure. Maybe like they, yeah. Only
he kind of, he reminds me of
who's that?
A little bit of like a Hank Bachmeier,
I think he's more of an athlete than Bachmeier.
You think so?
Yeah.
You might.
Well,
be
I
right.
don't know though. But now after this injury, and that's what I guess I was posing here was that will this perhaps limit him a little bit?
Well, dude, in 2020, 32 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Pretty sure.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oklahoma will take that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a stud, and knowing and it is great to have a quarterback that has been in the offense, that knows the offense. So I do think the offense will gel at running back. Eric Gray, who transferred in from Tennessee last year, he's going to be the guy.
Wait a second, was Lebby still there in 2020 at UCF, or did he spend 2 years at Ole Miss? I think he spent 2 years at Ole Miss.
So he was there in 2019.
He had 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions under Lebby.
Still, I mean, he was a freshman. Yeah.
Still a beast. Yeah.
Wait, so Gabriel's played 3 years of college football. So he redshirted last year, so he's still a sophomore this year. Because he used the COVID year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's gonna be 35. Chris Winkie.
All right.
Eric Gray at running back though, Tennessee transfer. I think he's pretty talented. I think that's he transferred in, I believe, 2 years ago.
Yeah, he didn't have the greatest season last year. A little frustration, but I thought he was a really good back at Tennessee.
And I think the receiving core, I know they lost Mario Williams, and everyone's thinking, 5-star to USC. They also lost Hazelwood to Arkansas.
Who had the most receptions on the team last year.
I still think when I look at this receiving core, it looks pretty fucking good to me.
Yeah. I mean, Mims had like twice as many yards per catch as Hazelwood. Mims is a huge play threat.
I like Drake Stoops.
Yeah,
I do. I think he's a solid slot wideout. And you have Theo Wease, who's a 5-star, right? They did lose Austin Stogner, and we're going to talk transfer portal in a bit. But so I see Brayden Willis is their guy. I think he also might get pushed by another guy. But 3 of 5 starters back on the O line. I think this offense, Patty C, will this offense be better than 18th in the nation this year?
I think it will. I think the Big 12 still has a defense problem.
But I also think the Big 12 knows how to play this offense.
That's true.
More than any other conference,
because they're all running it. They've been around it for like 15 years now. Well, let me ask you this: who are you more impressed with as a coordinator, Lebby or Lincoln Riley?
I think Lebby's is more gimmicky.
Yeah.
I think I would actually lean Riley.
Yeah.
But when it's going, it's fucking amazing.
I remember 2 years ago when I was watching Ole Miss, or maybe it was last year. I think it was 2 years ago, and just being like, this offense is incredible. It was the first game of the season. I was just like, holy crap, they're pulling out all these. Like, you're right. It's a lot of gimmicks.
Yeah.
When you have John Rice Plumlee at wide receiver, that's
You know who gives it fits though? Dave Aranda.
Yeah.
He's played him a couple times. Played him with LSU at UCF. He played last year in the bowl game. And I want to say there was one other time he's played like if not Lebby, then a Bryles.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting matchup this year. But it is. I mean, that's a good debate. I'm not saying I'm right.
Yeah.
But I do.
They're
think,
both explosive as hell.
Yeah.
I think you're winning either way.
Defensive coordinator Ted Roof. Hey, shout out to Ted Roof, former Duke head coach. Did a great job at App State as a DC.
Old Ted Roof has been around the block.
I know that guy knows how to. And look, Venables knows. He knows how to coach a defense. So he's like Ted Roof. He knows defense too.
Yeah.
60th in scoring defense, 30th in rush defense, 109th in pass defense. Alex Grinch left for USC with Lincoln Riley. 76 in total defense. Look, I think Grinch was a solid. He was improving that defense, but still, 109th in pass defense is fucking terrible at Oklahoma.
You know, I want to look at something real quick. Vanderbilt, he was their DC for 1 year in 2020, 1 year in 2019. We'll see what a first year snapshot looks like for those teams under Ted Roof. I'll get those pulled up in a minute, but interesting, transition here. I do believe he is a darn good defensive coordinator.
He's been everywhere, man. This guy has coached everywhere.
We said 2020 he was at Vandy.
Yeah, 2020 he was at Vandy, which I don't believe they were very good, but that's hard.
That's tough.
Gig, yeah.
They were 113th in the nation in scoring defense that year, so that does not bode well. But Vanderbilt doesn't have Oklahoma's talent. In 2019, we said he was at App State.
He was at App State.
They were 21st in the nation, so I think talent probably has a lot to do with how well they're going to do.
I think it's a decent hire, and I think with him and Venables together, I think Venables knows what he's doing on the defensive side of the ball. Now, just one of four starters back on the defensive line, and that's Jalen Redmond. 2 of 2 back in the linebacking core, and that led by Deshaun White. 3 of 5 in the secondary. They're running the 4-2-5, led by safety DJ Graham. The secondary is going to be interesting. They brought in some names too, so they are breaking in a new kicker, but they do have a punter that returns. Patty C.
Oh. Old Michael Turk, as a DC area natives, Colby and I can appreciate the Turk family.
Shout out to the Turk family. Classic. Here, I got a sound job for you. Classic team and
touchdown, Washington Redskins.
There you go.
Wait, that's supposed to say touchback. No. We don't want touchbacks.
No, they don't do touchbacks.
Yeah.
What's it called? Yeah, Dan Turk.
Matt
rest
Turk,
in peace.
yeah,
Matt
Dan
Turk.
Turk, rest in peace for sure.
Both his uncles. So punting is in the family, a long snapper and a punter. And
Dan Turk has a great highlight where he just blasts Deion Sanders. And it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
they had 11. He was tied with punt god for 51.2 yards per punt last year. And the difference is
I'm with punt god. Something's going on.
And punt god only punts for distance. He doesn't care about touchbacks. So Michael Turk might be that dude.
I just listened to a podcast that said punt god was top 25 college football players last year because they had a very conservative offense and they would just boom their way out of
80-yard punt. Here we go. Flip the field.
Oh man. All right. Well, we're going to talk transfer portal. We're going to talk recruiting rankings, the future of OU football, and see what Las Vegas expects with the Sooners in 2022, and then what we expect. We're going to go game by game on the schedule. But first, I got to get us paid. I want to tell you that the college football experience, Oklahoma Sooners preview on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet. Get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bets today. We're also brought to you by IP Vanish. IP Vanish is the official VPN of SGPN, and they're offering 70% off if you go to ipvanish.com/SGP. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by SGPN Discord. Yeah, make sure to check out our new Discord server. It's the perfect place to interact and sweat out bets with the entire SGPN crew. Trust me, if you were sweating in that Tulane game, it's a lot of fun to hop in the Discord channel and have us just you got not only us, the me and Patty C and NC Nick, the college football experience, but everybody and a bunch of fans, you know, for each game,
Then
no matter
again,
where it is.
We're men of the people, and OU is definitely the favorite most of the time. So we'll probably be talking shit to you, but it'll be fun.
No, I mean it matters the scenario. Like I root for OU over Texas every fucking
time.
day. Yeah,
Every time.
And it's just a lot of fun. If you're just sitting around that, maybe you just got married. You know, the wife's in the other room. You miss the connection with the guys. This is that platform. All right, it doesn't matter. And it's not only college football. It's whatever. If you're, it's literally every sport you can think of. So hop on in to the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord channel. And we're also brought to you by Dave. No, I'm not talking about Dave Aranda. I'm talking about Dave. Dave, the banking app, brand new banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. I mean, that's more money to fill your gas tank. Not that much money to fill your gas tank with the way shit's going on right now, especially in California.
You better be borrowing a lot.
Dude, when I go gas up, it's just like, just take my whole fucking wallet.
Yeah.
California, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Keep the card.
Don't even put the number on the fucking sign.
Yeah.
Just say hi.
Yeah. All your money.
Yes. But you know, more money to fill your gas tank, to buy a wedding gift, catch up on bills. Because look, we've all been in a spot or a jam where we needed some cash. All right. Me, every time I gas up, I go, fuck. Right? What are they going to hit me with this time?
Dave, I need you again.
Hey, Dave. Before I used to have to call my brother, NC Nick. Hey, what are you doing? Can you Venmo me 100 spot? No. Now I look. That can get embarrassing. Now you can just plug in the Dave. Hey, Dave, hook me up again. Give me that 500. And here's the best part. There's no interest. There's no credit check needed. All right. So if you've had, maybe you got a credit card when you were 20 years old, went to Cancun, blew all your money. Happened to me. I went across Canada, Patty C.
Hey, life comes at you sometimes. Opportunities hit you, and you might not be financially ready for it, but you still got to strike.
That's what I'm saying.
While the iron's hot.
And that's why brother Dave is going to get you out of here.
Hooking you up.
All right. People, I'm telling you, download the Dave app from the App Store right now. That's DAVE. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve. Member of the FDIC. Patty C. You know who might be a part of the FDIC after all these transferring? This whole fucking this whole roster last year. I mean, a lot of players transferred. We're back talking Oklahoma Sooner.
Well, with the amount of money going around, I'm pretty sure they're all going to need to be FDIC insured here.
Yes. I mean, look, what should we start with? Incoming or outgoing? Because this thing is like
either way, it's going to take all day.
Indy 500.
Yeah.
This is the Indy 500 right here. Incoming, I'm just going to start easy. Quarterback Dillon Gabriel, UCF, great get, absolutely great get.
Yeah.
Tight end Daniel Parker, Missouri. I think this could be a great get. I liked. He's talented. Offensive lineman McCade Mettenauer. Great name, McCade. Lone Wolf McCade. Shout out to Chuck Norris. He came in from Cal, the Golden Bears. Cornerback CJ Colden from the Wyoming Cowboys. Defensive lineman Jonah Laulu. And we should highlight him because everybody fucking wanted him. Jonah Laulu, on the defensive line from Hawaii, I think will be a difference maker on this defense.
Is he a big boy?
He's a big boy getting after it. Cornerback Trey Morrison, Patty C. This guy started for what, a couple years at UNC? Comes in via the portal.
4 years at UNC.
4 years.
That's a
lot. And
lot.
he's not even a projected starter from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I showed 4 returning, or is it 3 or 4 returning in the second?
3 of 5. Yeah,
3 of 5, and then they're
when you add in Colden, when you add in Morrison, when you add in Kenny Walker from Louisville as well,
you basically have a full starting defensive backfield.
Linebacker TD Roof from Appalachian State.
Boom. I mean, was it?
Do you see a connection to Ted Roof?
Venables had his son playing from at Clemson.
Yeah.
Swinney had his son playing from at Clemson.
TD Roof.
We got what's his name?
It's a huge loss by App State too.
It is. Well, he said he was their best linebacker.
Yeah, he's a beast.
What, I'm assuming Stoops is
Drake Stoops.
Bob Stoops.
You got Turks. This is just a whole family.
It's a blue
family
blood
affair.
Yep.
Jeffrey Johnson from Tulane. Keep an eye on him in the defensive end spot. They've been doing a good job, and obviously I think they had some notes last year when they played Tulane. Said, "Who the fuck is this guy? Let's get him in here." Offensive tackle, Tyler Guyton coming in from TCU. Petty C.
Yeah, fire those shots. Oh,
What the hell's happening here? You go to,
I feel like TCU and Oklahoma. I feel like even though Oklahoma, I think, has gotten the better of them most of the time.
You can't just.
There's a little bit of like, I don't know, salt between those two.
Transfer somewhere else. All right, come on. This is supposed to be rivalries. You know, I mean, I know TCU's newest to the Big 12, and Oklahoma's not going to be in the Big 12, and they probably won't play again for like 75 fucking years. But still, come on. Quarterback Davis Beville coming in from Pitt. Mark Whipple's gone. Pat Narduzzi's going to go back to running the ball 7,000 times. Let me leave. Wide receiver Javian Hester from Missouri, and then this is a wide receiver I think we'll add LV Bunkley Shelton from Arizona State. He was pretty good at Arizona State. So that's a lot of production. That's a lot of production. But we grade the transfer portal, so now buckle up because here's what left. Nathan Rawlings Kabange went to South Alabama. He's a defensive end. Offensive tackle Daryl Simpson went to the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Cornerback Dorian Plumlee, portal. Defensive end Noah Arinzi, portal. Wide receiver Cody Jackson, Houston Cougars. Dana Holgerson. Latrell McClutchin, cornerback, 4-star USC. That's a big one there, right? It's a big loss there. Mario Williams, 5-star wideout, USC. Quarterback Caleb Williams, 5-star quarterback, USC. Now I see the resentment. Safety Patrick Fields to the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford took a transfer. That's like the first time fucking ever. We should have a party for that. What else do we got here? Houston landed linebacker Jamal Morris. App State says, all right, you take Roof. We're taking your long snapper, Jake Mann. A bad deal. 4-star wide receiver Jaden Hazelwood to the Arkansas Razorbacks.
That's a loss.
That's a bad loss. Tight end Austin Stogner, one of the best in America.
I think Hazelwood was a 5-star.
Yeah. Hazelwood was, yeah. And Austin Stogner, one of the best tight ends in America. To the South Carolina Gamecocks.
There's another team that's gotten a share of Sooners.
Yes.
Heads Carolina, tails California.
The vegan special here. Quarterback Spencer Rattler went to Columbia, South Carolina as well, but he had worn out. He had to transfer regardless because it was getting chippy with the fans when they booed him for a pick or something or his NIL deal. Like, and he's like tweeting coming at them. I was like, this isn't going to end good. This isn't going to end good. He's gone. They also lost offensive tackle Noah Nelson to the Lumberjacks.
That was like tweeting during halftime from the locker room. It's like, dude, get through the end of the game.
I was on a radio show the other day. They were asking me about South Carolina and how good they're going to be this year. And I was like, yeah, they could really be good. I think this offense could be dynamic. But I was like, they also could blow up because he seems to be a personality that like if they lose a couple games. Yeah, they could go off the deep end.
A funk.
Yeah, they could go off the deep end. So I think Oklahoma's in a better spot. Patty C, did they win or lose the portal?
I guess you got to call it a draw. I don't know. Maybe you call it an L when you lose
both quarterbacks and
2 5-star quarterbacks.
I think slight loss.
The best quarterback in the country in 2 consecutive classes.
Yeah,
that's tough to lose. Dillon Gabriel.
Well, it's Stogner, the wideouts, the cornerback. I'll say this though, if you had asked me back in January when all this news happened or early February, I would have said, man, they got hit the hardest.
Yeah,
they did a great job. And Brent Venables, in my opinion, already grabbing a dub by going out and getting some guys that I think fit some great. The Dillon Gabriel one, terrific. Because if not, who knows what would have happened.
And getting some continuity. I mean, starting fast is huge in this day and age for coaching.
I like the roof get the Bunkley Shelton get some of those defensive backs. They're gonna give some nice help. So I do think they did a great job patching up that leak. Water was coming all through.
Boom, plugged it up.
Got it.
What's that guy? Flex Seal. We got just slapping that all over the place.
Slapping that everywhere. Ted Roof was. Patty C, talk to me about recruiting.
Transfer portal ranking and nationally, by the way, 4th nationally. It's almost impossible to call that a L in the transfer portal when you're the number 4 in the nation.
But that's why those ratings suck, though. They should account for what you lost too.
It's pretty easy to say, hey, you lost this amount, you gained this amount. That's your actual ranking, not just what you brought in. So yeah.
Talk to me about actual recruiting. Rankings.
Recruiting,
even though I guess all these players left.
Yeah,
Maybe
none
we
of this
should
is
talk
relevant.
about this.
Ignore these numbers that I'm about to rattle off. Nationally, last 5 cycles: 9, 4, 13, 6, 10. I'm sure you'd like to be in the top 10 every year. Getting outside of it, not so good. But within the conference, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2.
Texas is just out recruiting them and going 5 and 7 every year. Is there some evidence that recruiting could be a bit overrated?
Well, you know,
it is the Texas Longhorns being charted number 1 every year over Oklahoma, and Oklahoma just destroying them most years.
Well, you know what I think it is a lot too is Oklahoma. Maybe, I don't know. It seems like they know how to get the hell out of the way of the head coach and let him do his job, which seems to be really hard for the people in Texas.
Yeah.
4-year composites though have improved every year because they've been great in the transfer portal each year. Last 4 years in the transfer portal, 7, 6, 1, 4 nationally.
Damn.
So their 4-year composite has improved from 11, 8, 9, and 6 nationally most recently. So that's a talented team.
Yeah.
Are they getting slept on for, I mean, I feel like Oklahoma might be at its most dangerous when they're getting slept on.
Perhaps. I know we just did an episode with Phil Steele. Go listen to that. He's very high on the Sooners. Let's hop into it. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see this sweet ass graphic here. Remember, subscribe to the College Football Experience on YouTube because look, it's great to listen to us on podcasts. We appreciate that. But also, what the hell you doing? You got smart TVs these days. All right. Even if you're not, ask your buddy to record it. And I don't know, somehow get that thing on VHS and plug it into your VCR.
Yeah, get an 8-track and watch.
I would appreciate that. If you video that, I'll send you a lot of SGPN gear. How about that?
Send it to your grandma on VHS.
If you
we
could
need
show
everyone
us that,
watching
or
this.
beta. If you could pull a beta out,
Yeah.
I'd be very happy with you. But yeah, subscribe on YouTube to the College Football Experience. Patty C, they're saying 9.5 wins, and I've seen the juice coming in at the under -120, the over +100. So actually, Vegas leaning to a 9-3 season. Slightly lean.
Don't know that I agree with that.
Let's hop into it. Week 1 at Gaylord Family Stadium.
Gaylord
Fokker Stadium.
UTEP was
7-5 a season.
Yeah.
7-6. They lost the bowl game. The first thing I noticed, I don't know. This is gonna be a blowout. UTEP lost Jacob Cowing, their best wideout, to the Arizona Wildcats. I just don't think UTEP can play with them.
The only comparably talented team that they played last year, Boise, they lost 54-13. I guess they kept it within 7 against Fresno, who could also be considered comparably talented. It will be a blowout though. Oklahoma wins.
Boom, 1-0. Kent State comes to town and they have a high-powered offense, but at the Fokker, what's going on here? I got Kent State's schedule's unbelievable. Unbelievable out of conference. It's like they play in all these.
Washington.
We've only had the playoffs for like 9-10 years, and they're getting 3 playoff teams in there.
In the first 4 weeks of the season, all on the road.
Shout out to the Golden Flashes. If only this is why college football is ass backwards. All right, because you have Kent State, who was 500 last year, scheduling those teams. Shouldn't the better teams go out and schedule like that?
Right.
When you have like your Mac doormats scheduling like that.
Everything about college football is the rich getting richer. That's the entire model of it. It's as Colby calls it.
It's a pyramid scheme. It really is. Yeah. I mean, look, we love college football as much as any. And we need a large playoff because it's so the fact that Oklahoma's played 1 back-to-back away game in 10 years when many teams, I mean, shit, I want to say Iowa State a couple years ago had 3 back-to-back in 1 season.
Yeah. You think the Big 12 is been protecting Oklahoma? Maybe
and
just
Texas.
a little.
Texas is in there too.
Of course. Well, they're the ones calling the shot, but gotta like what Gundy said, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Should they even be at this meeting?
Oh wow.
You know what, Oklahoma,
Sooner fans.
Oklahoma.
Patty C.
I hate to say it. You're kind of the bad guys.
You're a man. You're 40.
I am a man. I'm getting damn near 40.
Stop it. You're pissing off the Sooner fans. Let's talk about how great Stone Cold the movie was. I'm a big fan. Big fan. Everyone go watch Stone Cold with the Boz.
Nice.
Lot of great stuff going on there. I got him 2-0. You?
Yes.
Okay. Then comes the big one. Memorial Stadium, Lincoln, Nebraska. You know, we just did the Nebraska preview, Patty C.
Yeah.
I called for the Cornhuskers to take down upset special. This place is gonna be shit crazy.
Oh, it will be crazy. I do think that all of college football kind of wants to see Nebraska win this. Because they're rooting for Scott Frost. He's a likable guy at Nebraska. It feels right. It makes a lot of sense. And this would be a humongous game for him to gain momentum. But I still think Oklahoma is just better than Nebraska, even on the road. And I think Oklahoma wins this game.
No, I'm ready to go. Look, folks,
You're doing this with your heart.
college. I mean, I don't.
You need to
I
think,
just think no. I just think Nebraska's going to be better this year. If this was in Lincoln, I would take. I mean, if this was in Norman, I would take Oklahoma. But shout out to actually playing this game, because we used to really enjoy this game before these TV execs ruined the fucking sport.
Yeah,
There's
something so great
Texas's
about this
fault.
game.
I really believe that. I got them 2-1, and then they host a sneaky spot here. I'm telling you.
Well, every year against K-State,
But it's where they get them though. Because imagine if they beat this. This is a class. Greatest. What is what do they call that? The Oklahoma 71 game.
Oh, game of the century.
Game of the century.
Yeah.
You come back from that. Imagine if they do win that.
They're gonna be hyped.
And then you have this dynamic backfield, which I think might be the most dynamic backfield.
More dynamic
America,
than
Dan Marino's wife. Shout out to George W. Look, I feel pretty comfortable saying that they're going to lose one of those. So I got them 3-1 through September.
Oklahoma, losers of 2 of the last 3 last year, only won by 6. This game's been within a touchdown every year, even in Norman. I do think that Kansas State's a threat. You're probably right that they'll have lost, but yeah, maybe I give them a loss by this point.
3-1 in September.
Yeah.
Then they head to Amon G. Carter Stadium. Sonny Dykes is the new head coach of the Horned Frogs. Gary Patterson's out making music. He's making hits and dialing up schemes for Steve Sarkisian late in the bar. I got OU. This is to me like it's a weird game, but I got OU kind of handles TCU. I feel like
They do.
I'm going to take OU here.
The
Bounce
recent
back.
series has been there, but I do believe that that one's in
This one could
Fort
be
Worth.
Yeah, it could be wild though, because Sonny Dykes definitely high-powered offense, and Lebby against a Sonny Dykes defense screams 87 points.
Absolute shootout. Yeah, Oklahoma's won. It looks like 8 in a row. So expect more of the same.
Yeah, I'll ride with OU here.
Yeah.
So 4-1, and then comes Patty C, the Red River Shootout. Love this game. Love watching it every year.
This game somehow always delivers.
Yes.
A classic, like
Yes.
every year.
Yes.
It's almost unbelievable.
Yeah. For a lot of years, people were like, "Hey, Michigan, Ohio State, and Auburn, Alabama is the best rivalry in college football." And I do think you can make a point that the actual games. I know you have the kick six, but you also have some blowouts where Alabama just handles Auburn.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, Texas, I feel like every year gives you just fireworks.
It does. And the few times that it is a blowout, it's such a blowout that you have kids crying in the stands and they get it on camera. It's entertaining either way,
That was great. Patty C, I got the Sooners. Boomer Sooner, baby.
Boomer Sooner as well. Although Bijan Robinson, I would say pretty clearly to me the best running back in the nation.
Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn.
Quinn Ewers, though, has a lot to prove. And so you got to lean Dillon Gabriel.
They got the Bosworth of quarterbacks at Texas now.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
I got OU winning this.
Yeah.
Then they're home to the Kansas Jayhawks. Perfect letdown spot. You just beat your arch rival.
Yeah.
And Lance Leipold, who is I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Watch out.
In case you're a first time listener.
Watch out. All right. I got you still winning this one though.
Yeah.
So I got them through the bye week, sitting there at what?
6-1.
6-1.
You think Kansas gives them a game, or do you think OU?
I think Kansas is going to give them a game.
Okay.
I do. They get a bye week and they're at Jack Trice Stadium. Get the fuck out of here. You're not winning this game. This is the last time you're probably going to Jack Trice.
Iowa State
This
also coming off a bye.
Place is gonna be bananas. I am taking Iowa State to win this game.
I don't care how bananas it is. Oklahoma has a huge talent advantage still, but it hasn't really mattered lately, has it?
It has not. I mean, Matt Campbell, I think he circles this game. I don't think he circles the Texas game. I think he circles this every year.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, this is the one we're showing up for.
I love Matt Campbell.
Yeah.
If I had to guess on another game that Oklahoma is going to lose this year, this would obviously be it. K-State's on the radar. I guess you got to put Texas on there, but then Iowa State.
I got him losing this.
I'll go with you.
So I got him then at
That's 7-2.
7-2.
No, 6-2.
Oh, 6-2. Okay. Then they play the Baylor Bears in Fokker Family Stadium. Patty C, I got Baylor winning this.
In Oklahoma.
I saw Baylor. A lot of people, I think, when you have Phil Steele on the show, he said he's the top 5 offense and defensive line in the nation.
Baylor's been playing.
Dave Aranda has a great track record against Jeff Lebby. Baylor beats Oklahoma.
Oklahoma had won 7 in a row, but Baylor got it done last year.
That was Matt ruled most of those years.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor's been in some competitive games with Oklahoma. That Big 12 championship game, incredible. I think because it's in Norman, I have to go with Oklahoma here.
Wild man, you are. So I got him already on the under.
But it's true that the coaching advantage in terms of continuity is now in Baylor's favor, which is probably the first time you could say that in a long time.
And I think Baylor's offense is only going to be better. That freshman looked really good in those 2 games he played. And then that was Jeff Grimes' first year as OC last year. I think it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I don't think Baylor's necessarily going away.
Yeah. Patty C, after that, they head to Morgantown. Light your fucking couches on fire, Patty C, because
Morgantown, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Morgantown, WP.
They're calling themselves Best Virginia. They're just redneck Virginia. That's all West Virginia is. Let's be honest.
dude,
but
this is the last time they're going to Morgantown.
that moonshine will be
This is gonna be
getting
insane.
tossed around.
This is what I mean. The target. They're not going to be able to go into all these places, dude. I don't know. This is kind of like, I feel like OU's had the best of WV, but that makes it even bigger.
Yeah.
Is the fact I don't think WV's got him yet. So
Since
it's like
they joined
knowing
the
that
Big
this
12,
could be the last time you ever play them.
Well, I'll tell you what. At the end of the season here, there's, a 5-game stretch where they probably lose 2 of these. But really, these
I got them losing
3
of the final 5.
3 of the final 5.
I don't know if it's going to be at West Virginia or at Texas Tech. I think they win Bedlam in Fokker Field, but I got them essentially. So their final 3 games at West Virginia, home to Oklahoma State, at Texas Tech. I think they lose 3 of those 5 between at the 5-game stretch of at Iowa State, home to Baylor, at West Virginia, home to Oklahoma State, at Texas Tech. I think they go 8-4.
I bet they go 3-2 in that stretch. They might even go 4-1. I very much doubt they go 5-0 in that stretch.
Then
I think I am on the under. Now
after all that chirping,
if I was a betting man, I would not.
You are a betting
I am
man.
a betting man. I'm a sports gambling podcast man. But, if I was betting on this game, right, then I would certainly take. I don't know what I would do. I wouldn't touch it with the 10-foot pole because it's
I'm telling
right
you,
there.
the target there.
The first year coach is the concern, but I feel like the first year for Stoops was a transition. What do you go, like 7-5?
Yeah,
And then the first year for Riley,
I think they did good, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he
Like
stepped in and
12-2 or something. I don't
killed
know.
it. Yeah, 12-2. So maybe since this is like still a well-oiled machine,
But they weren't leaving a conference and basically taking money, like a substantial amount of money from all these schools. Like I said, every one of those schools minus Texas, there's going to be layoffs. There's going to be substantial layoffs. I'm telling you, there is a gigantic target, and not only for Texas and Oklahoma, for USC and UCLA. And my common theme, I am riding the under heavy because I think it means more. If that's the SEC's motto, that's where Oklahoma and Texas are going. It don't mean more when they go to Ames, Iowa, It means more for fucking Iowa State. It means more for West Virginia. It means more for Texas Tech.
It absolutely means more for every one of these teams than it does for Oklahoma. Oklahoma probably sees the Big 12 as the past for them now. You know what they've outgrown. But yeah, these other schools, they don't see it that way at all, and I'm sure they want to take them down.
I like the under. I
think I'm with you, but again, I think it's very possible.
I mean, maybe they get Nebraska in the. I still like the under to hit. Let's even say they beat Nebraska. I still think between that crazy Red River shootout where anything can happen, and then you add in at Iowa State, home to Baylor, and Aranda's success against Lebby, at West Virginia, Bedlam, and then at Texas Tech. The final 5 games are actually pretty tough, I think.
Does it bother you that this team has only won less than 9 games during a full season once in the last, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4,
20 years probably, right?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years?
It's different. Like I said, they weren't announcing they were leaving the conference. Add in the turnover, and how about this also? The floor of the Big 12. Kansas used to be an automatic win. It's not anymore.
It's still pretty close to an automatic win.
Not this year. Kansas bowling.
Oh, I don't know how much I want to. Leipold is improving them, but there is
He didn't even have spring ball last year.
A huge gap. I know last year.
Not when you pulled up the rankings. Go listen to our Kansas podcast. You pulled up the rankings. You said they're just as talented as TCU or some shit.
That's
or
true.
Texas
They're way
Tech
more
or something.
talented than you would think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would lean slightly under, but I just wouldn't touch it because I could easily see 10-2 as well.
Look, I'm gonna make a case here. Do the 4-team parlay if you can find a place that does this on win totals. Parlay the under on USC, UCLA, Texas, and Oklahoma. I'm sorry, Sooner fans, but I just think putting the target there, you give them 60 million reasons why.
And the expectations, like people are saying UCLA is going to win like 10 games. Like they were 4-8, or USC rather.
Yeah.
They're 4-8 last year.
Yeah,
prove it a little bit before you throw all that money.
Venables will have a better first year than Lincoln Riley.
I think so.
I think so too.
I think
Probably,
the record will be better.
And I think it might be a blessing in disguise long term. So there's that for you, OU fans. Subscribe to the College Football Experience as we talk college football year round. We handicap every single game. We've been doing this shit for years. Also subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Like I said, Porter Moser, very excited about that.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Great pick up there. The difference between Lincoln Riley and Ryan Day. What do you think?
I got to see Lincoln Riley at ECU. Instantly.
So you were already convinced that he was a good coach coming into that, whereas you weren't for Ryan Day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I see the comparison.
Both stepped into a Ferrari situation.
Yeah. Folks, subscribe on YouTube. If you give us a 5-star review on iTunes, take a photo of that. Find us on Twitter at TCE on SGPN is the College Football Experience handle. I'm personally on Twitter at TheColbyD. Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. Show us that review and we'll send you a College Football Experience t-shirt. It'll look like that right there.
Boom.
And if you're watching on YouTube, and yeah, let's do that. Come on, check out and give NC Nick a follow too at NC_NICK. He's not here on this episode, but all of us, NC Nick, Patty C, myself, we are the College Football Experience, and we are also the College Basketball Experience. And check out the College Baseball Experience. OU keeps a good team. Keeps a good team. They lost to A&M, but I'm sorry, they lost to Ole Miss. But
who didn't this year?
It was a great season. So check out the College Baseball Experience with me and Noah Beanick. Also check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Already doing NFL teams. They're going through all 32 NFL teams, their futures, fantasy football stuff. Check them out. Check out the Fantasy Football Gambling Podcast. Drafts right around the corner. What else, Patty? See the USFL Gambling Podcast. Hopefully the Oklahoma Outlaws come back, man. I want them to come back.
Yeah.
They had Doug Williams back in the day.
Beautiful.
NBA Gambling Podcast for Oklahoma City Thunder fans. Check out Terrell Furman Jr. does a great job there. Soccer Gambling Podcast. You got the World Cup coming in November. Check out that.
Who did Oklahoma City just get in the draft? Did they get Holmgren?
I don't really tune into the NBA, but hey, if you're an NBA fan, check out the NBA Gambling Podcast. But you threw me you put me out there like that, huh?
They come
Chad
up.
Holmgren. He looked really good in spring or in the not spring.
Summer.
Yeah.
Just went out there and dominated.
There you go.
Look, Colby's. We're kind of moving on from pro sports. I feel like a lot of people in Oklahoma could appreciate that. But guess what? I'm going to dial in and I'm going to invest back into pro sports a little bit.
You do what you got to do to make you feel happy. I'll be on the other side of the stream. All right. All right, folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. And I'm on the under. Patty C's on the under. This is the College Football Experience, Oklahoma Sooner style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Rubino Devil's Digest.
Devil Digest, huh?
Yes, sir.
Where you located, my man?
Right here in Tempe.
Devil Digest, okay.
Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
The only thing on my mind, Gene, was pussy.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play.
I broke my back. What do you mean by that? Your back is broken. What, a vertebrae or spinal?
Get my limousine right on 85. Get my Learjet. Woo! And take off to New Orleans.
They're begging us. Please have a party. Feed us drinks. Get us